have the one item to discuss, and it's actually we need to recommend that Mojave County Board of Supervisors award the one-stop operator contract to, and I'm going to mess the name up, Director. You need to help me. Can't hear you. You're on mute.
Okay, I don't have it in front of me as well on the agenda, but it's
Casala.
we're going to get this wrong. We're going to butcher
Chicanos por la casa.
Thank you,
Morgan.
Tommy. Was that Tommy?
Tommy. All right, Tommy.
That was me, yes.
Thank you, Tommy.
So, and that's just based on the RFP review. So, Director Smith, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So I just want to bring everybody up to speed so everybody's aware of how this worked and where we're at. The position was posted for the original one. It went out for RFP. We received no people for the RFP to apply. With that being said, we increased the contract award to $90,000. We worked through our procurement department, and what I'd like to do is, and it was a sealed bid, and we went through the process. But what I'd like to do is actually bring on Morgan Michaels. He's the procurement officer that led this project. Originally, it was put to the board, just so everybody is aware, it was put to the executive board. We lost several members of the executive board at the last board meeting. The board advised that Kenda, myself, and Tommy could move forward with the process, make the recommendation to the executive board. From there, then we would make that to, on behalf of the full board, to the board of supervisors. But what I like to do is I kind of like Mr. Michaels to go through and just really walk us through the process of how we came to the person, a quick synopsis of it, just so that as you guys vote on it and understand the way we did this, how we came to the conclusion, the consensus of this organization. Mr. Michaels, if you could, please.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you all taking the time and giving me the opportunity to speak about it. So this really went through our typical RFP process here at the county. Pretty much the same process it went through in 2019. We went out for proposals on December 5th, and proposals were due on January 5th. We received 4 sealed proposals, and we met as a committee for the first time on January 12th and gave instructions and handed out everybody's binders and all copies of all the proposals and just instructions and score sheets and all that stuff. We met again on January 19th, a week later, and we during that meeting, it became clear that there was some clarifications we wanted, just some items in various proposals that maybe just weren't as clear as we wanted, or that any kind of items that maybe had been missed. And we wanted to check their references, which is something we don't always go through and call everybody's references they give, but we decided that things were close enough between there was a couple of kind of top ranked firms, and we really wanted to check their references and see what they had to say. So we did that, and that took some time, and we reconvened. Was it yesterday or was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Thank you. Yeah. Time is funny. Time's a funny thing, right? And I think we sat down and had some very good conversation about about the top kind of scoring candidates and the pros and cons, and ultimately came to the decision to award to Chicanos por la Casa, which is a name that y'all are going to have to practice, I guess. We can't talk too much about each of the other the non-winning proposals, basically, and just because we kind of leave some of that confidential, and we haven't made an award yet. But I feel confident as the procurement officer that the evaluation committee, they took their job seriously. They made an honest and fair evaluation of the proposals received, and I feel comfortable that we should award.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. And if anybody has any questions for me on the procurement end, feel free. I'm happy to answer.
All right. It doesn't sound like anybody on the committee has a question. I do want to make a couple comments. We did take this very seriously. We did have some really, really good discussions, bounce of a lot of things back and forth on each other, suggesting, asking questions, made sure we all felt the same. Pretty comfortable, and I think the discussion was very open and honest, and I think we had like I said, a really good discussion, and I think that we made a good choice with that. So, any comments, any questions, anything at all that the board would like to ask about the opportunities or about how we came to that decision or anything like that?
I guess, and just taking it for granted that everybody understands what the one-stop operator program is. What does this vendor that you're selecting offer that the others did not?
Before we
Right.
answer that, I just want to make sure, Morgan, that we're not going to break any of the procurement rules or anything of that nature. I'm sorry, Madam Chair, to jump in, but I
No,
just
you're fine.
wanted.
Yeah.
That was a very good question. And no, I would suggest that we don't talk about the vendors that we're not recommending for award and the specifics of kind of their proposals. Just because we're still kind of within that confidential period of time. However, the WYO board, obviously I think it'd be healthy to talk about the proposal that we are intending on to award to. And to contrast in a generalized way about maybe what they were offering and what their advantages were. Does that make sense?
Sure. Madam Chair, you want me to jump in and take a stab at that?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I wanted to say is there were two top awards. So that was between the ones we had two that were very, very close. And the one that the Casa por, say it again for me, Morgan.
Chicanos por la causa.
Chicana por la
Chicano
Casa.
por la casa.
Yeah, we're going to have to really do that.
Chicana la cosa.
This is not their first rodeo. They have a lot of experience. They've done this before. They're currently doing this. So I feel comfortable in saying that they're not going to it's not going to be like we're going to have to say this is what has to be done. They do have a lot of experience in it. They've done it before. They're currently doing it. So I think that was one of the things too. And they are in Arizona, which I felt very comfortable, and I think some of the other board members did as well. So they've done it. They know what to do. They know what's expected of them. And we do have the opportunity again in a year if we feel like they're not doing everything, because it does get awarded yearly. So in a year, if they're not performing, we can go back to the table and ask for ask to do this again. But I feel very comfortable. I think the other, with Director and Tommy as well, felt very comfortable in their ability. And like I said, it's not something new to them. They're doing it. They have experience doing it. They're currently doing it. So, and that's what we need, is someone who can kind of jump in and run with it.
Okay, thank you. No, I think that's a better answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I concur with that, and I will just say, I believe, Madam Chair, as well as Tommy and I, all are very familiar with the roles and responsibilities of this position and what's required through the RFP process, because we've sat on the MOU IFA revisions, which we've done twice already with the board, and that is a part of the review of that as well. And just our day-to-day, Tommy sits on as the vice chair, but also as the chair of the position. Mr. Taylor sits on the performance committee. The One Stop presents at the performance committee. So Mr. Taylor's had the opportunity to engage with the One Stop operator, not this particular one, but in the past, multiple meetings to understand the role of the One Stop operator. So I'm comfortable that the people that were making the decision on which organization to choose and award or make recommendation for award truly understood the position and the requirements of the position to make a a valid analysis of the position and who to award to.
And Morgan, I'm pretty sure I'm correct in this. And I don't, I don't see this happening. Like I said, this is an experienced company that's doing it, currently doing it. We do have an option though, if at some point it's like, okay, they are not doing anything we've asked, there is an opportunity. We do not have to wait the year. Is that correct? There is provisions in there that we can say, hey, we need to you maybe pull the contract back, or we need to talk about it. We do have that option, correct?
There are provisions, and if you give me a moment, I could pull up the specific provisions.
And I would also add, as you do that, Morgan, just really quick, to make sure the board's aware, this organization is ready to start on the day of the award of the contract. That's really large for our Arizona at Work, not having a one-stop operator. There's a lot of partner meetings and things that should be coordinating and happening. That's required by law. So we've been going through that. So they will start day one when it's awarded after the Board of Supervisors signs it and moves forward. So just be aware that that is another benefit that they start as soon as it's awarded. And they do, as Madam Chair alluded, they're doing it in 2 different counties right now as well.
Yes, there are provisions that allow us to terminate. We can terminate with mutual written consent with the contractor. Like if we mutually decide it's not working out with 30 days notice. We can cancel the whole contract if the contractor provides personnel that do not meet the requirements of the contract, or if the contractor fails to perform adequately the stipulations, conditions, or services specifications required in the contract, or the contractor attempts to impose on the county personnel or materials, products, which is of unacceptable quality, or fails to furnish the required service and or product within the time stipulated in the contract. Or in opinion of the county, contractor fails to make progress in the performance of the requirements of the contract, or give the county a positive indication that they can perform to the requirements of the contract. So we gave ourselves a lot of outs. That's it. Is we this is for our benefit really, and they got to perform more, or we got a lot of ways of kind of canceling the contract if we really want.
And Morgan, can we also, like I said, I'm a little worried about what we can and cannot discuss since nothing's done. As far as a person local that will be here, even though they're not local, they're actually in Maricopa County, I believe, or Pinal County, but they will be hiring somebody here local in Mojave La Paz County that will be doing the program. So it's not like we're going to have somebody controlling it out of our county. We're going to have someone doing it within Mojave La Paz County.
And I think the scope is the scope of services is really is saying what their requirement is pretty specific, that it wants them to be here, to be acting. And I could look for the exact spot, but I think there's lots of points basically where the scope discusses that they should really be here working physically, and it's not incredibly specific, because again, it's for our benefit and it's a matter of us describing what our wants and needs are and them fulfilling it.
Right. And really quick, just so everybody on the call is aware, is that this is an independent contractor, means they're not staffed to the board. They don't work for the board. They don't work for the county. They are an independent contractor that's awarded a contract to perform a service with the requirements that's required by the position and the scope of work. So just so everybody is aware of that as well. It's not an employee of Mojave County, and it's not an employee of the Arizona at Work board as well.
But they do directly report to the board.
Correct. But the board doesn't provide, they report to whoever they would hire, would report to the organization. The organization reports their outcomes in the process of the scope and the things of the RFP that need to be performed at the board meetings, the performance review and the board meeting. So yes, it's kind of but they are an independent contractor that reports to the board.
that making it easier too, as well as if we don't feel like they're performing, they're not making, the numbers doing what we think they need to be done, we don't have to discuss that with this one particular person. We go to they address it to their employee. So I think that's going to make it easier as well.
Right, and we could have those discussions. I mean, obviously, we don't want to have them locally first with that person and encourage them on what to do. And then if not, there is a follow up the chain of command that we could take for this position as well. But I, like you said, I feel comfortable with it. I feel comfortable with the decision we made. I think all those things are there, and I just want to make sure that everybody was aware as well of just that it was an independent contractor that's fulfilling the requirements and scope of work for the Workforce Development Board, and then that they don't report to any individual person, except for the organization that we made the award to.
Any other questions, comments, or any concerns about anything that having to do? I'm just going to call them with our proposed OSO, because it's a lot easier than trying to say the name. So does anybody have any other questions, concerns, or anything?
No, Mark's good. I'm good. Thank you, Madam Chair and Director Smith.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Kathleen, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I'm excited to see us work with Chicanos por la Casa, just because I comes with the last name. Because I am aware of their agency and all the different services that they provide within the state of Arizona.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So that being said, I'd like to entertain a motion that we do accept them as the new one-stop operator.
Mark, I'll give you a motion.
Perfect. Can I get a second?
This is Kathy. I'll give you a second.
Perfect. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Madam Chair, could I
Yes.
also just ask, with that being said, you accepted it for the Workforce Development Board. Could we also either amend or make another recommendation to make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors to accept this position as the one-stop operator? And we have a letter for you to sign. That'll be sent over to you shortly. But I want to make sure that we include that verbiage as well for this item.
Okay, and we'll need a motion for that as well.
Or you could just amend the motion
Okay.
and vote
All
again,
right.
either way.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'll just
Yeah, that's fine.
amend. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and amend it that I will actually do the sign that I'll sign it before it goes to the board, and we present it to the board on March 6th. Is that correct? The date?
Yes.
Okay. So that being said, can I have we'll amend that a motion? Just go ahead and re-vote for that.
That's Mark. I'll go ahead and give you a motion.
Thank
for
you.
that.
All right. Can I get a second?
This is Kathy. I'll second.
Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Do we need to do anything else as far as that goes, Director?
No, that's it, Madam Chair. We've fulfilled the agreement and we can send that to the Board of Supervisors for their approval. And then what we'll do is we will bring that back to the full board for ratification as they instructed us to do at our last full board meeting.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So at this time, any executive committee member who wishes to share any information may come forward with any of their announcements or anything they'd like.
Just thank you to everybody, Michael and your team, for all the hard work on that. So.
No problem.
Of
My
course.
pleasure.
Okay. This is a
I know.
public meeting. This is a public meeting, so this is a call to the public. Is anybody on the phone? They have anything they'd like to say to make this, any comments, anything? Okay. Hearing none, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up last minute. And I think we made a great decision and we'll go forward from there. So thank you all. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great day.
Same here.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.